Hi, everyone. Glad those of you that are making it in person are here, and anybody watching the recording later, just let me know if you have any questions after. Uh, I'm really excited for this group. I took a group of, there were 29 of us that did this almost same itinerary last October, and we had a great time. 2 days on the train. We had an extra day in Banff, so we had two. Um, some time in Vancouver, went to the Capilano, the suspension bridge, which I'm sure Jeff will go over that, but that was really cool. Um, Lots of good food on the train and drinks, as many as you want. So just wanted to put together another group more open. The last one was women over 60 only. This time I get to take my husband. So it's open to whoever would like to go. And I'll go ahead and pass it on to Jeff. He works with me with Rocky Mountaineer, and he's amazing. So he'll go over all the itinerary.
Well, thank you so much, Danetta. And honestly, I also believe that you are honestly great at what you do. You're a preferred partner of ours, and I can't thank you enough for your time, your support, and continuing to put these groups together because you really know what it takes to make a trip of a lifetime. And like before, you thought of everything. So I appreciate you being able to work with our groups team and put this whole entire uh, experience coming up this fall. This whole trip here goes from September 28th until October 4th. And it has you going from Vancouver heading eastbound, which is a direction that I truly love. Because when you head east up in the Canadian Rockies, the hills become mountains, the mountains become glaciers, the wildlife gets so much more incredible, and the best is yet to come. Places like Banff and like the West, places you will be seeing on this trip of yours if you decide to go. So this is being recorded, and if you do love what you hear, please feel free to share this with any friends or family. As Danetta just shared, that this is no longer only available for women, as she did last year. Last year, it was a group of you had to be female to be part of it. Now it's open to everyone, and so I really hope you guys can take your spouses and loved ones and experience this incredible, beautiful place close to home, just north in Canada, where it's also deemed very safe. So if you're not familiar with Rocky Mountaineer, we are a train and tour operator. We've been doing this for 34 years. I've been with the company for now 10 years. So I have some really good background and experience. And real quick, before I even go any further, if you have any questions, there'll be plenty of time for Q&A at the end of the presentation. However, if you would like to ask anything along the way, there's a chat box that you can easily put questions in. I will see that as it comes through. So feel free to write in the chat box anytime, and I will address those questions as they come through. All right. Uh, we are a train and tour operator doing it 34 years. We are a luxury, fine dining, seamless travel experience. Please note, you never sleep on board. You stay in hotels every night because when you're sleeping, you're missing the sights, the scenery, the wildlife, the wilderness, and it'll end up being one of the most expensive naps of your life. So we just don't encourage sleeping on board the train. And we're going to take you to some of the most incredible places like Banff, like I just said, in Lake Louise. And here's the map of everywhere that we operate. I did just hear that Danette is putting a group together for 2025, which will be going on the green route. That's called a Rainforest Gold Rush route, taking you from Vancouver to Whistler, Whistler to Quesnel, and then that's an old gold miners town, actually, where they still mine for gold at some places, and then over into Jasper. The route we're going to be talking about today is the Red Route, the first passage to the west. 2 full days on the train as you head eastbound into the beautiful Canadian Rockies. Just also to make you aware, that green dotted line is the Columbia Icefield. It's been voted one of the most scenic highways in the world. Now, what I think makes the most sense when talking about a trip like this is to go day by day in chronological order, talking about the hotels, talking about the tours, get down to the details so that hopefully any questions you do have will be answered. And you really have a good understanding of how everything goes. So starting, you fly in on September 28th to Vancouver International Airport, very large airport with lots of different connections and flights. And you will head over to your hotel. Please note, the hotels that I'm going to share with you today, they are not 100% confirmed. I would say they're 90% confirmed. These are ones that we have slated for this group. I don't think they're going to change. However, there's a small chance they might. Right now, these are the hotels, and so I just want to be upfront and honest. This is what we have currently at this time. You'll fly in and you'll be staying at the Vancouver Marriott Pinnacle Downtown property, which is in the heart of the downtown Vancouver area. I've stayed there myself. It's a beautiful hotel. The next slide, I actually have a picture of the hotel, so you get to see that. You'll have the full day, depending what time you arrive at the airport, to enjoy Vancouver. Next day, the most important meal of the day is breakfast. It's where you're going to get all your energy to burn throughout the day. Breakfasts are included on every single throughout the rest of the whole entire experience. So you'll have breakfast at your leisure at the hotel, which is the Marriott Pinnacle Downtown, and then you're doing a full day sightseeing tour. This will take you throughout Vancouver and the North Shore. First, to share that image with you on the right, that is the hotel. That's what it looks like. So beautiful hotel, to say the least. And then just make sure this works here. Okay. And then we also have, of course, some of the touring that you'll be experiencing on this day. You're going to be doing the Capilano Suspension Bridge. It was mentioned right before we started this whole entire event. But the Capilano Suspension Bridge is honestly quite something to be on. It looks kind of scary. It is quite high. It's 450 feet long and 230 feet high over a ravine. And there's a river way below. It's the Capilano Canyon, to be factual here. And I jumped on it myself. It's really hard to make it move and shake. And across the way, you have the opportunity to go into the tree tops and almost have a bird's eye view of the ground floor below. And then pending time, if you have availability, there's also another, it's like a cliff bridge that goes along the side of the canyon, giving you more scares if you look down. So, and Danetta, you're more than welcome to unmute yourself and add anything you like if you want. No pressure, but I do see that you put your camera on, so please know if I see you unmute, I will let you talk.
So I wanted to say something about the bridge, the suspension bridge. We had quite, we had one lady on our group last year that she turned 85 on the trip to just kind of, and some were 60, so like early 60s, so kind of give you a wide range of ages there. And every single one of them did this at least halfway to say they did it.
Yeah.
So some were like, I'm scared to death, but I'm going to do it anyway. And they were glad they did. It was really fun.
It's a beautiful place, and I'm happy you got to experience it before and you're going back there again. For those who haven't been, it's definitely a must-do right outside of Vancouver. You're also going to go visit Grouse Mountain, take the gondola to the top of the mountain, which is around 4,100 feet above sea level. And that just takes in great views of Vancouver downtown and the Pacific Ocean, which is quite gorgeous. Then you head back to Vancouver that evening, have the rest of the night to enjoy, walk around, have some great meals. There's so much to honestly see and do in Vancouver, and there's some great restaurants. It's also a very safe city in the world we live in, which is always important because the world is crazy. So then after that, we're going to be then picking you up at your hotel. When it comes to luggage, we make this extremely seamless. We don't want you burning any calories. So what we're going to do is take your luggage from you and put it on a truck. The only thing I bring on the train with you is your camera, camcorder, wallet, cell phone, purse, ID, medication. Keep it light, keep it simple. When you get to places like Kamloops, before you even get off the train, we give you your hotel room key. You've already been checked into the hotel. You'll hop off, head over to your hotel and find your room. Inside your room, your luggage will be waiting for you next to your bed. In order to minimize the calories you're burning, we ask you to leave your luggage exactly how you found it, next to your bed. Seamless transition, which is quite ideal. Here you'll be boarding the train between 8 and 9 in the morning and heading eastbound, once again, my favorite direction. You'll be taking Silverleaf, which is a single-story car, panoramic views with an arch window at the top. You have a small outdoor veranda space that you can access anytime you like while the train is moving. It holds comfortably around 4 to 6 people. You have 3 hosts or hostesses on board handling all the commentary, talking about what's outside your window, what's coming up ahead. They're going to be answering any questions you have. They'll be doing storytelling. They'll tell jokes. They'll keep you entertained. And of course, serving you throughout your entire experience while on board. Know that Rocky Mountaineer handles everything for you, including an all-inclusive experience on board the train with alcohol included and food included. Here, the food will be delivered to your seat, 1 to 2 appetizer options, 2 to 3 entree options, and a dessert option to change daily for your meals on board. And then also to share the speed, we're going to get you there no matter what, but it's not about how fast we get you there. Our average train speed is only 30 miles an hour. We slow down to less than 5 miles an hour for the bridges, the waterfalls, the wildlife, the wilderness. So you're not missing anything along the way. And that is really a unique experience with Rocky Mountaineer compared to other commuter trains out there where they want you to get it from point A to point B as fast as possible. This is a daylight traveling train, and so we try to keep it like that. And honestly, there's so much to see, including this wildlife. And so I have this quick little video in the middle, but you're gonna be looking for brown, black, grizzly bears, moose, elk, deer, coyotes. On the last train experience, this is a video that I took, so it's not that great, as you'll see when I start it. But I saw something quite unique. That white bear is not a polar bear, even though I even said it when I was on the train. We're on the train right now. It's going less than 5 miles an hour. The dark bear is a grizzly bear. That white is called the spirit bear, or an albino black bear, also scientifically known as the Kermode bear. There's only about 300 in existence. And so after 10 years of being with Rocky Mountaineers, the first time last year that I saw this bear, anyone on the whole entire crew has ever seen it. It's very rare. But just to show you, and this is right actually outside of, it's between Lake Louise and Banff, which is where you'll be going. So not to say that you're going to see it because it's very rare, but hopefully you'll see a lot of other bears. We got tons of wildlife to experience, and the train goes at such a slow speed, it allows you to really soak in that scenery that passes by, which is quite ideal. Once you get to Kamloops, hopefully between around 6 and 7 p.m., we will once again transfer you over to your hotel. Your luggage will be waiting for you in your room. This is a very small town. It's nestled quite in the middle between Vancouver and the Canadian Rockies. That way you're not sleeping on board the train and missing anything at night. It's a very dry place. There's not as much foliage or trees or anything, as you can see by the rolling hills in the background with very little brushes on there whatsoever. It's quite actually sandy, and in the summer it reaches over 100 degrees on average. You can cover this town walking wise in about 30 to 40 minutes, so quite quickly. And there's also, I would say, what you have here to do is if you're still hungry, there's a great restaurant usually down the in the main downtown area called the Noble Pig. Love that place. It's got some really good local food. There's also a park next to the river that offers some beautiful sunsets. And so just a few things to see, but you'll have a good night's rest, wake up the next day, board the train at around 9 in the morning, and keep heading eastbound into beautiful Banff. Banff, you'll be staying at, once again, not 100%, but pretty close, the Elkin Avenue Hotel, which is at a beautiful, beautiful property. This is the hotel right here. It is literally a block and a half away from the main downtown area of Banff. So location-wise, it is fantastic. I've stayed there myself. The rooms are very nice, clean, and accommodating. There's also a restaurant in the property itself to make it easy because you will be having breakfast there. Like I said at the beginning, the most important meal of the day, it is included every single day. So that evening you'll get in, go to the Elk and Avenue Hotel. If you have an opportunity to walk downtown, do it. Banff is such a beautiful place. And so next day you'll have breakfast, and then you're doing a private group charter, full tour, doing some sightseeing of mountains, lakes, waterfalls, and so much. And so this whole tour is on a motor coach, not a yellow bus, but a motor coach designed for Rocky Mountaineer guests only. And this will be just for your group alone. You're looking at having a tour guide on board who may be the same as a bus driver. Sometimes we have a guide itself and the driver, or sometimes the driver is the guide. These are a part of Brewster's team, and they are extremely well knowledgeable of the whole area. You could point at a tree or a rock and they'll tell you the whole history behind it. It's incredible what they know. Here on the whole tour, you're going to be seeing highlights including the beautiful Lake Louise. Oops, here's Lake Louise, excuse me. I was going to say, where'd that picture come from? Which is an emerald lake nestled right next to a Fairmont Hotel. There's a nice walking path around the lake, so you can get some great views of the picture in the background. You have a glacier, and then you're also going to be going through Yoho National Park. You'll be seeing the spiral tunnels from the road level. Emerald Lake, Natural Bridge, some more waterfalls. Now, I did kind of skip over Emerald Lake because you actually have a planned lunch at the Emerald Lake Lodge that is set up for just your group. This is a picture of the Emerald Lake Lodge. Beautiful setting. You can see that water, how it shines from the silt in the water, which is quite gorgeous. And so you'll have a nice lunch here to in the middle of your whole entire tour. And then in the evening, you'll head back to beautiful Banff. In fact, if you look straight ahead on this slide, that is your hotel. And this is the downtown area of Banff. So talk about convenient where you can see your hotel from downtown. Like I said, it's a block and a half away. Location is key. Next day, you'll have breakfast at your hotel, and you're doing a full day sightseeing tour as you head from Banff over to Calgary. So here, this full day sightseeing tour first starts with the gondola, which is what you have on your screen here, taking you to the top of Sulphur Mountain. The Sulphur Mountain is a spectacular place. Now, know that it may be in the 70s on the ground level, maybe even upper 60s in October, being in Banff. Up in the mountain, it could be easily in the 30s and 40s. So you definitely want layers. And so you're going to go top of Sulphur Mountain, 360 view of all downtown Banff, glaciers in the distance. It's an awesome 360 view of all the surrounding mountains, to say the least. Then you're going to go by Bow Falls, some of the hoodoos, which is some unique topography in the land, and then finally head over to Calgary. The hotel we have you staying here is the Delta, which you actually can see on your screen. If you look at that circle tower, the brown building next to it is the Delta Hotel, which is where we currently have your group staying at. It's a fantastic location in the heart of downtown. Literally 2 blocks away north of this hotel, you have 2 streets full of restaurants. Calgary is known for a couple things. One, it's barbecue food. So if you like barbecue food, there's a lot of options to choose from. It's also known for the Calgary Stampede, which is a very large event that brings in around, I would say, close to 1 million guests. That happens in July. So that will not be happening when you're there, which is the beginning of October, but it definitely is what Calgary is known for. And the next day, you'll have breakfast once again at your hotel, and then you'll head over to the airport, because Calgary has a very large airport with tons of flights, especially nonstop flights taking you back into the US. You also clear customs in Canada before flying back into the US. So it makes it a perfect, easy way to get home, which is quite ideal. This is just for peace of mind. Perhaps you've heard of a site called TripAdvisor. It's a place where people spew hate and anger and negative feedback. It's a 0.0 to 5.0 scale. Rocky Mountaineer has been on there since TripAdvisor has been around. And it is, Rocky Mountaineer has maintained a 4.5 or higher every single season. We have more awards and accolades than the Orient Express. National Geographic has given us best train trip that takes several years in a row now. So hopefully all this means to you is peace of mind. We know what it takes to make a trip of a lifetime. We do this in such a unique way. You're in the hands of one of the best group tour guides, honestly. Danetta, once again, has done this before. She's doing it again and even again next year. But she really has thought of everything. And I know that you're going to be having such an amazing time by working with her expertise and knowledge, and be able to go on this incredible experience at such an amazing rate. I'll let her talk about all those details because I honestly don't have them in front of me. But there it is, 20 minutes. Short and sweet. Finally, there are some 1 to 2 minute videos that I know Danetta has, that if you are interested in seeing some of the highlights of the first passage to the west, or a video on the Silverleaf experience, make sure you reach out to Danetta so she can share those 1 to 2 minute videos, as it really does showcase what it's all about on board. Danetta, over to you. Is there anything that I may have missed or you would like to add before we open up to questions?
Well, I wanted to share, some people may wonder, why go with a group? Why not just go on my own? My husband and I did the Rocky Mountaineer US route in 2021, wasn't that the first year?
Yeah, right when it started.
And it was fine, just the 2 of us. They gave us good directions on everything. However, going with a group, you have, like, I will be guiding you as you go. This is when you put your luggage out. This is when we're leaving, kind of herding everybody together. So you have a little bit more support if you travel with a group. We also get, if we have enough people in the group, we'll have guaranteed our own buses, like he was saying, and our own guides. So when I did this last year, the group wanted to do certain things, and so I contacted Brewster, and they actually put together a different timeline for us, because they work very well with Rocky Mountaineer and the group leaders. So
Yes, when you have control over your own motor coach and you have a private transfer, so you do have to have a minimum to hit that. But once you hit that minimum, you have a lot more free range to kind of do things your own way, and that was what really takes an individual type of booking experience to a whole nother level, which is
Yeah.
quite unique. So good point. Thank you for sharing that.
And another, I think they started this last year, and I think Jeff mentioned it, but I like how they're including the gratuities on the train staff, for the train staff, and the breakfast. Any food that's included with it already has the gratuities included. So that just makes it a little bit easier. We do tip, the guides and stuff, but you're not having to tip every time you turn around, since a lot of it's built in, which is really nice.
And I didn't mention that, so thank you for speaking up on that. I completely missed that, so that is definitely something new, and I love the fact that it's not that awkward. Like, what should we tip, or should we tip, or are they expecting something? No, it's don't worry about it. All done.
Yeah, this is kind of outside of the Rocky Mountaineer portion, but if you want to go early or stay longer, if you do 2 to 3 days extra, I can help you book flights with the package with that. When we went to Vancouver early and went to Stanley Park and a bunch of extra things while we were there. I
Yes.
plan to do that with Calgary this time. Than I
Nice.
did on one end, but you can always add beginning and end, which is a nice addition. So,
Definitely is. Another thing to think about, not trying to throw it out there or throw a curveball at you, but there's also Victoria Island. So if you haven't been there and
oh
want to go to
yes,
Butchart Gardens, that's another incredible, I would call it a pre to this type of experience, where fly to Vancouver maybe 3 days before the group starts, get over to, and you can easily fly right into Victoria. You can take a boat from Vancouver over to Victoria, or a float plane. And I would recommend staying, there's lots of great hotels, but probably the top is the Fairmont Empress, and there's definite that Butchart Gardens would be a must, which is just gorgeous. So that's another option to look into if you have
yeah.
never been there and you have time to do it. So I do have a question that came in from Lauren. So
Yeah.
thank you, Lauren. She said, so when you're on the bus tour for the trip, how many stops does the bus make on average? It truly depends on the exact tour, because like I was mentioning, on the tour between Banff and Calgary, there was like 3 or 4 stops with different areas that we get off the motor coach and walk between 100 and 500 feet. So it's not extensive walking. Of course, you can do more, but it really depends, because, and also, once again, if you have your own private transfer, and you're able to kind of add a few things and make it more customized, if you will. And from Danetta's experience, she knows where to go and what to see and make sure what not to miss, and where we should spend more time at as opposed to less time. So she's able to work with the actual bus driver and kind of configure that with what she thinks is best, which I totally think is the best way of doing it. It really depends. So but know that you're not going to be on the motor coach for that long. If you're worried about sitting on there for hours, that just won't happen. The longest time I believe that you'll be on the coach is between Banff and Calgary, where it is around an hour to hour and a half, pending traffic, of a drive. And even then, they do try to make it, I would say educational, pointing out things along the way. You'll see some of the Winter Olympic old places, like the ski jump and the bobsled, as you head into downtown Calgary and everything. And so it is still interesting, and how crazy the topography changes in such a little bit of ways, from the Canadian Rockies to a place that looks like Iowa, flat with corn. So, um, but I hope that kind of answers that, Lauren. I don't have a, there's not a particular, like, oh, it takes, 4 stops here and 6 stops here. It's yes. So I'm happy it did. So she said, yes, it did. And anyone else have any questions?
Another quick thing about the
Yes.
bus, because I've had people ask, is it does have a bathroom on it if you need, access to a bathroom. So I always avoid bus bathrooms, but it's there if you need
That's right.
it.
Better have it than not.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I
Those
wanted to
things.
talk a little bit about accessibility.
Mm,
Rocky Mountaineer will have a form to fill out for food and mobility, needs. We'll get that sent in, when you sign up, I will get you that form right away so you can submit it right away. Because I noticed on this trip that, especially Kamloops and Banff both, they don't have a lot of fully accessible rooms. So we want to get that in right away, but they do take care of those needs as much as they is able, even on the bus, lowering it and that kind of thing, if anybody has a need for that.
Yes, and I just to add to it, we have lifts and elevators that take you from the ground to all of our
Yeah.
train cars. And for any food allergies, dietary restrictions, just let Donetta know so that we can be prepared and not harm anyone. That's our biggest goal. We have another great question from Lauren. Not worried about sitting part. We like getting out and exploring. My husband is a photographer, or is into photography, excuse me. So that's more why I was asking. It's a great point. Honestly, many people who go to this area are avid photographers or just love photography in itself. So I agree. The places we're taking you to, we want to make sure you have time to get out, explore, to see it, and take pictures, and not just take a picture through the window of a bus, because that won't do justice. So know that definitely the motor coach stops quite a lot, I would say, compared to perhaps other tours that you maybe have been on in the past. Another question came in from Lisa. The price per person, I'm sure it varies. So I would let Donetta talk about price because I don't have it.
Yes, hold on just a second. Let me pull it up. So we have two options. You can share a room, which is the double occupancy, which of course you don't sleep on the train. So this is just for the hotels. That price is $35.64 and some change. So about 3,500 a person. Single occupancy is 4,400. And it's just more because hotels charge the occupancy, the double rate pretty much anyway. The train part doesn't matter because they pretty much sell it by the individual, but that's what we have. And I haven't compared the rates on the Rocky Mountaineer website, but I know last year my group rates were less than booking individually.
I'm almost guaranteeing you your double occupancy rate is extremely good compared to an FIT rate, which is an individual rate for 2024. I just looking at 3,500 for all this, including the meals, including the tours and all that. That's a very, very good offer. I'm not trying to like BS, or I'm just being candid, transparent, because the average booking we see is around $10,000 per couple. That's 5,000 per person on a double occupancy for around the same amount of time, 7 nights. So definitely you're winning here. So Lisa, 3,500 per person includes everything except food off the train. So there are some places that food is included. For example, you have breakfast off the train that is included on every single day, except the first day, because usually you fly in, you're not going to be there for breakfast. But every day from then on, breakfast you'll have every day on or off the train. And you have also a lunch at the Emerald Lake Lodge that is included. So those are the meals that are off the train that are included. This is not including 3,500 is the airfare, the trip insurance, and maybe a couple meals.
Yeah, it includes 9 meals, 6 breakfasts and 3 lunches. So, and keep in mind on all of those meals that are included, gratuities are included. So you don't have to add that cost in as well. And I know he kind of touched on this, but something I really like about how Rocky Mountaineer does things is you're handling your luggage. And they give us directions each day. It can vary depending on hotel. It's either putting your luggage right outside or right inside the door, depending on what they want. And then you get to the next location and your luggage magically is there. It's crazy. And getting your room assignments before you get off the train, so you're not having to stand in line, at the front desk to get your keys, was just really a nice touch to make it more relaxing and seamless,
And just
between place to
Just to
place.
share one more statistic on our luggage, since we've been operating for 34 years, we've never lost a single person's luggage. There have been some close calls where luggage was taken to a different hotel. We found it, we knew exactly where it was, we just had to get a transfer over to it. So a couple little issues, but never lost, which is really, really good. It's 100% guarantee your luggage will hopefully never ever be lost in the hands of a Rocky Mountaineer. So how many days and nights? It goes from September.
I think it's 6 nights, 7 days.
6 nights, 7 days. September
Yeah,
28th through October 4th.
yeah, and I do have a breakdown on a page. I'm going to post this in the comments. Just don't hit the book now because it goes to a Royal Caribbean form. Because I'm still working on the form. But this page has the daily itinerary, pricing per person, a video that shows Silverleaf, and well, the first screenshot is actually Gold Leaf, but it's supposed to be a Silverleaf video showing the food and that kind of thing. And then it has a frequently asked questions at the bottom. So as if you have another question answer you need me to put on that page, let me know if you think other people might need to know that.
I'm just putting the dates on the chat because someone asked what are those dates again, and I talk
Oh,
fast.
good.
Oh, I got it, but hopefully it went
You
through
got
right.
it? Okay.
If not, it's September 28th through October 4th. September 28th, 2024 through October 4th.
And if you want to do it, let's say you want to do this itinerary, but you want Gold Leaf and you don't mind going without the group. I can book any of their products. So, any of their itineraries outside of the group also. So just on that form, on that page, there is a more info button next to the book now. That button does work. So you can set up a consultation and we can go over the other options. So.
All right. Well, I don't see any more questions. I
Oh,
want to thank you again, Danetta, for putting this together. You're so welcome. Thank you, Lauren and Lisa, for some great questions. I really appreciate it. And once again, this was recorded, and Danetta will have the link for this recording. So if you loved it, you want to share with other friends or family, you want to bring other people with you that you know, please make sure you get the link from Danetta and share it because, sharing is caring. So with
and we're gonna
that,
have lots of fun. You don't want to miss out.
that's true too. I'm just going to quickly say thank you again for all of your time. I hope you all travel safe. And it's your show, Danetta, so I'd love for you to end it.
Okay, well, just glad for everybody that made it. And I know some are waiting for the recording. So I look forward to traveling with everybody. I hope a lot of people can sign up and we'll have a great time.
Goodbye.
Bye.